It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to another production here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the Mike Prince Show. You can follow me on X at the Mike Prince Show. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. It is our mission to try to bring you some news you can use, and today will be no exception to that rule. We have a 24-hour stream available. All you have to do is go to the website and click on the 24-hour stream. That website is obnradio.com. With all that being established, let us jump right into today's episode. We know that we are in the middle of the Fred McNair watch. The Texas Southern Board will be meeting on this coming Thursday, and I guess they will continue to hammer out and discuss what will and will not work, if it will work, should it work, how it's going to work. But it is one of those deals that is a very delicate situation. Of course, Kevin Granger, serving as the athletic director, was the one, I'm assuming, to initiate the offer to Coach McNair. And I guess there was a cross of lines. However it got to be, we have what we have right now, going back and forth. A early glance at this would indicate that if this is to continue and Fred McNair comes the next coach at Texas Southern, he would have a 4-year deal around the neighborhood of $310,000 a year. And let's not forget the budget that would come with that. Now, overall, Alcorn had a budget of $7 million for 2022-23 campaign, and Texas Southern was just a hair under $13 million. So that's almost double the budget that McNair would be used to working with in football. And what's very scary about this, if he was able to work the magic that he did with Alcorn, could you imagine, if given the proper time, what he could do at Texas Southern? But the irony about all of that is, if this thing falls through and they said, okay, we're going to go ahead and work with you, how strained would the relationship be? How patient would the board be to see the results that McNair has proven to achieve? So you got a very delicate situation going on right now, and we'll see just how all this comes out. But you can imagine that the tension is going to be extremely thick. There are going to be some great expectations, and you're talking about being under the microscope. You would hope that all things could and should prevail. Now, I tell you guys all the time, I'm not a gambling man, but as far as we've gone down the road in this particular topic, I am saying that it's a 60% chance that they go ahead and iron out whatever differences that they have, and they stamp the approval of Fred McNair becoming the next head football coach at Texas Southern, which means he'll have to hit the ground running, and I do mean running hard and fast. Now, remember, Alcorn just had a big recruiting day the weekend prior to the announcement of Fred McNair no longer being the coach at Alcorn. What, if any, conversation was discussed with those potential Braves of becoming possibly Tigers? All of that will be sorted out, I'm assuming, very, very soon. And which goes back to this transfer portal and NIL situation. Now, as far as the NIL go, as far as the HBCU and the FCS level, it's not a lot of serious money to discuss, so we'll just address that on another day. But when we get to this transfer portal, the transfer portal is really, it's a good thing, but is it designed for the total well-being of the student athlete? Of course, I'm an old school type guy. I don't necessarily like the life lesson that the transfer portal teaches, but I do understand and get it. But to me, without the transfer portal, it teaches integrity. It teaches a guy how to work through adversity. It teaches young men to transition to becoming men. And anytime you face resistance, someone might be slightly better than you or maybe get a better break than you, and you run at the first resistance, it doesn't really build character for down the road that you're going to need in the workforce. But I know we're talking about the here and now. And part of the deal is we all have egos, and especially athletes. And when these athletes face a little resistance and they feel like they're not getting their time to shine, they jump into the portal. Well, when you have thousands of other people thinking the same way, you begin to create a log jam. And when you have these log jams, it's only so many spots. We talk about it all the time. Only 2% of the guys, I don't care if they're Power 5 to NAIA, go pro in professional athletes. So you got 98% of you guys are going to be in the workforce. So if you're going to jump, hop, and skip every time there's a little resistance, how are you going to deal with life when you get into the workforce? How are you going to deal if you're an entrepreneur when you have a few setbacks? Now, what is making this matter even more concerning, just recently the NCAA announced that a student athlete can enter the portal, sign with a new program. If they find out it wasn't what they desired when they signed with that program, they can jump right back into the portal and then become eligible. Here's a little snafu, if you would. What about looking out for the best interest of that student athlete completing their degree? What are we going to do about that? Now, I am a huge component, and I believe that athletics is the front porch of any university. I don't care what sports you have. If you have athletics, you need to sow in the necessary seeds for that front porch to shine and highlight your institution. But when we allow these student athletes to go like a revolving door when it comes through the transfer portal, what message are we truly sending? In particular, what message are we sending to our HBCU student athletes? Let's be honest. We're in a lot of, let's say, unnecessary confusion and unnecessary hills to climb out of, trying to imitate what we're seeing across the fence when we don't have the financial resources, when we don't have the connects, if you would, to get these backdoor deals. Like I'll state just a little bit, the NIL. That's nothing brand new. That has been going on for years, but because it's so out of control, they said, well, let's put a stamp on it and call it name, image, and likeness, and let's just open it up to everybody, and that way we can be out in the open doing our thing. They've been doing that since Pete was a pup. That is absolutely nothing new. So now we get with the transfer portal, and we're going back and forth playing with these kids' emotion. Yeah, I say kids. I know they're young adults, but I just say that not in no disrespectful manner. But you're playing with these folks' emotions. You got people tampering. If you think there's no tampering going on, I got a nice piece of real estate I'd love to sell you that is with your name all on it. So when we look at all this, what they say, the integrity of the game has been so convoluted that it makes you laugh. We know what's going on with the Power 5, Power 4, soon to be Power 2, because all that appears to matter to the big boy networks is what? Fox, ESPN, and all these other guys are concerned about the SEC and the Big Ten. What does that do for the rest of the collegiate world? It gets everyone tracking behind the SEC and the Big Ten in this make-believe world that will never come to fruition on your part. Yes, you could be classified as a Group 5, which in my opinion, Group 5 is nothing but a Tier 1 FCS program. They got a little bit more money to spend, and that's that. Heck, even our FCS programs are not even on the budget of a D2 program, according to the NCAA report that was put out by President Baker a couple of weeks ago. So Who are we kidding? What are we doing? If we are really going to be about promoting and building young student athletes, let's tell them the real deal about these transfer portals. The transfer portal is nothing but a scam. These folks are tampering with these student athletes. They jump over into the portal. They wait, because the process of the portal is the student athlete must let the current program know that they are interested in going over. They have 48 hours to respond, put their name up in the portal, and then the other team that's been tampering snatch them up, and everybody goes skipping down the road. Well, what about that kid that's being misled, or he's buying into his own hype, or the wrong people are whispering in their ear, so, man, you need to go to the portal, go to the portal. Oh, I know somebody that's interested in you. If you get in the portal, they can make it happen for you. And all these kids are left out in the cold. Then you got to try to work whatever charm you have to try to go back to the place that you left. And then the question is that program wrong for not wanting to accept you back? Because let's be honest, if you bail on me once, you'll bail on me another time when that opportunity presents itself. So if you're the institution that has had that student that you invested in, that you saw fit to offer them an opportunity to help build your program, decide to leave, and it doesn't work out the way they want it to work out, are you wrong for not allowing them the invite to come back? Something to think about. And would you allow, if it were you being the decision maker, a prominent student athlete leaves your program and it didn't quite work out the way they thought it was, and they say, hey, I want to come back, blah, 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 blah. What do you do? I know what I would do. Once you decide that you need to or want to bail out, we'll let you bail out. We won't take it personal. Will it sting? Of course it's going to sting, because obviously we wanted you here. And obviously you got to a point to where you didn't want to be here any longer. So I have to let you go. But if you really want to talk about building that integrity, if you really want to talk about building future leaders, deal with that adversity that you're faced with. Deal with that challenge you're going against. Deal with the guy who might be just a little bit better than you, and you work a little bit harder. Because if we run for competition now, we'll run for competition in the future. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. I want to thank you guys again for joining in with us. Don't forget, we got basketball coming up. Prairie View will be in action this week. Men are going to be taking on UTSA Thursday from San Antonio, and the women will be hosting Wiley Saturday on the campus of Prairie View A&M University. We'll hear from the guru, Coach Van Pettaway, breaking down the X's and O's in the world of basketball. The regular season is going to be starting January 6th weekend, so it's a lot going on right now. Meanwhile, my time is up where I must exit stage left. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Again, thank you for joining in with us. And until the next time, you be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.